here we are with part 6 of my Alabama versus Oklahoma Orange Bowl college football playoff semifinal preview. The last video I gave you part 1 of the defensive preview, and here's part 2. I'm going to talk about Alabama both teams' rushing defense and the scoring defense. So without further ado, like I said as usual, it's Oklahoma first and then Alabama. So Oklahoma's defense, rushing defense, is actually much better than their passing defense, which couldn't have gotten any worse. They're number 53 in the nation in rushing defense on 506 attempts against them. So obviously teams have wanted to run the ball against Oklahoma. 2,037 yards rushing given up. It's only 4 yards per carry, which is not great, but that's not terrible either at the same time. So they've given up 31 rushing touchdowns. You remember in the last video I said, man, they've only given up 7 more touchdowns in the air than Alabama. But that's significant in that teams have just scored on Oklahoma by running the ball instead. 31 rushing touchdowns given up, and you'll see why that's significant when you see how many rushing touchdowns Alabama has given up. So 156.7 rushing yards per game. That breaks down to, with the 506 attempts, is 39 rushing attempts against this Oklahoma defense a game. 2 runs based upon the yards per carry will get you in third and very short against Oklahoma. So giving up half a yard more per rush than Alabama, Oklahoma is. They're actually giving up more than half a yard per rush than Alabama. So one thing I have a question for you Oklahoma fans is, are those 31 rushing touchdowns, are they big gain TD runs? Like, are they like 60, 50, 40, 30, 70 yard rushing touchdowns? Or are they short red zone touchdowns that this Oklahoma defense has given up? Or is it some weird combination of both? Let me know, it's really important. Put it in the comment section. Alabama's rushing defense, on the other hand, this is weird, guys. The rushing defense is worse than the passing defense, at least statistically. But it hasn't been the same this year. And I say that, and they're 18th nationally. So if you remember, the passing defense for Alabama is 13th nationally. The rushing defense is 18th nationally. Alabama fans may find that very surprising. Alabama has had 453 rushing attempts against them this year and only given up 1,521 rushing yards, which is 3.36 yards per rush. So that's 7 touchdowns total given up. See what I mean? Oklahoma's giving up 31 rushing touchdowns. Alabama's giving up 7 rushing touchdowns total. 117 yards per game. Weirdly enough, like I said, that's like a down year for the Alabama rushing defense, which is still really good. Less than 3.5 yards per rush. And opponents have run the ball on average 34.5 times per game against Alabama. So the opponents have really tried to run the ball. So they really worked hard to get those 117 yards per game. It take a lot of effort, and that's only like 4.5 less rushing attempts per game than Oklahoma's defense faces. So this shows you like the difference in the level of defense running the ball. Man, so with that in mind, like I said, Alabama has a few guys in their rushing attack. So this year, Alabama hasn't been that committed to running the ball at times. So I'm wondering, how much will these statistics play into the game? Do you foresee Alabama really just trying to run the ball on these guys and trying to take advantage of the rushing defense? On the flip side, do you see Oklahoma trying to challenge the Alabama run defense? Kind of like how some teams have tried to do this year, because this team's run defense, while it's not bad at all, is not like the 2015, 2016 run defense, 2011. So it's really interesting to see, do you think Oklahoma will try to keep that up? Or is it going to be more Kyler Murray type things? There's a lot of questions I love to ask. Give me those detailed analysis. Give me your really detailed reasons why, and put them in the comment section. I want to know. So let's talk about scoring defense too. So this is just a quick note, and I'm going to end this video here. Oklahoma is 96th in the nation in scoring defense. They've given up 56 touchdowns total, 55 offensively, so I'm only going to count the 55, and 11 field goals. 421 points they've given up, which is 32.4 points per game, which is more than double the amount of points that Alabama gives up per game. Alabama gives up 15 points per game. only 193 points total on the year, 6 field goals made total, 24 offensive touchdowns, 25 total, but 24 offensive touchdowns given up. Alabama is 4th nationally in scoring defense. Like I said, these videos, these breakdowns, these are more statistical breakdowns, which I rarely do. If you look on my channel, I do a lot of play breakdowns. I give you a lot of knowledge based upon those things. I just have to approach the preview thing a little bit different this time around and try to do it this way, see what people think, see how you engage. This is based upon the numbers. So based upon the numbers, this is just like a stark difference in defense. And you probably can see that with the eye test. The difference in the defenses, which a lot of people are aware of, is not a surprise. But with all of that in mind, everything, all these previews together, what do you all think about this matchup? Do you foresee Alabama preventing Oklahoma from scoring like they're used to? You know, Alabama's only giving up 15 points per game. You probably can safely assume that they'll probably give up more than that in this game. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at anyone for insinuating that or even arguing for that. But the interesting thing is that, do you think Oklahoma can score with the ease that they've scored on everyone else? If you do, let me know. Put it in the comment section. If you don't, same thing. I want to know. I want to talk to you all. So I'll see you all for the next video. I need you all to enjoy this game. It's going to be fun. I've been looking forward to it, especially since some Oklahoma fans can't stop talking about the 2014 Sugar Bowl. So this is just be a great game to come back at it and build some more fire for this rivalry. It's not really a rivalry, but it's just fun to talk smack, I guess, for some people. But I just like to see the games played. Let me know what y'all think.